this is Ken at Advantage Tutoring. It's my job to get you past the 63, 65, 66. So on the 65 and 66, once in a while, not a big one, but it could be on there, dollar cost averaging. We know what that is, right? So the big picture is, and I'm going to do the math for you, dollar cost averaging is investing the same amount of money every single time period. Why do you do that? It takes away timing risk, because what happens is when the shares are lower, you're buying more shares because you're doing the same money. And when the shares are higher, you're buying less shares. So you're kind of bottom heavy because you're buying more when it's lower and less when it's higher. And your actual, and this is the question, your average cost will be lower than the average price. It gets rid of timing risk. So over the long haul, you have good market timing because you're not worrying about timing the market. So let's do some math on this. Okay, so here we go. We have 3 months where we're putting $1,000 a month in. I wish we could do that, but I can't. Maybe you guys can, rich people. But you're putting the same amount of money in every single time, okay? So you're putting the same amount of money in every time. And let's get that, make it even, because I'm not even a neat person, but sometimes it bothers me. I don't even know if they're even. No, they're probably not. Boom. Bring that back. Okay, close enough. So every month we drop $1,000, okay? And the stock is at different prices. So this is dollar cost averaging. You're putting the same amount of money in every time. And remember, you're going to buy a different amount of shares every time. Those are all different questions that you can get if they don't do the math. Same amount of money every time. You're going to end up buying different shares because your price is different. You're going to get a lower cost per share than the average price per share. And I'll show you both. So in this case, I put 1,000 in. It's trading at 25. So what happens is I buy 40 shares. And then it's a little higher when the next month it's trading at $40 a share. I buy less shares because it's more. So I buy 25 shares. And then in March, when it's at 50, I'm going to buy 20. So it's buying less. So as it gets higher, I buy less. When it's lower, I buy more. I'm not changing the dollar amount. It's just the number of shares I get changed. Now, what is this going to be? So how many shares did I buy over the long haul? 40 plus 25 is 65 plus 20. I bought 85 shares. Okay, so I bought 85 shares. Because I did it in white, so that's why it's invisible. Let's see if it pops up. Whoa, look at that. Now, that means I buy 85 shares. Now, if I want to find out my cost, what I'm going to do is, how much did I spend? Well, I spent, a TikTok showed up, one of my TikTok. Remember, don't check me out. Don't check me out. Do check me out. Series 7 Whisper on TikTok and Instagram. So now, I'm going to do this. So we have $3,000 we spent over 3 months divided by 85 shares. That gives me a price. My cost is going to be, where's my calculator? Where's that? I'm going to write this down. Is going to be 35.29. So that's my price per share. That's my cost. So if I were to do that, that's my average cost. Now the average price per share is going to be, we do 25 plus 40 plus 50. And that's not my average price. It's our price of the stock. It goes 115 divided by 3. So the average actual price is 38.33. So that's what the average price would cost me. If I didn't do dollar cost averaging, that's what the average is. So I actually did better than the average, which is pretty cool. That's what dollar cost averaging does. So if I didn't do it this way, say I said, okay, I bought 85 shares. I divide that by 3. Let's say that's going to be, say I'm just going to, instead of doing by a dollar amount, I'm going to just say, listen, I'm just going to buy 28 shares a week. That's it's work out to be about 85 shares, 28.33 to be exact. So if I did that, instead of doing it that way, and I just divided into shares to buy the 3 weeks, I would buy 28.33 shares a week. You can't really buy a third of a share, although I guess for Schwab and TD you can. And the average price is 38.33. I would do 38.33 times 85, right? 38.33 times 85. That works out to $3,200. So this way it cost me $3,000. If I do it just by share, it costs me $3,258. It actually saves me $258 by doing dollar cost averaging. And that's over 3 months. God, if I could do 1,000 a month, that'd be great. But if you could do that for a long time, that really works and that helps you. Now, on that note, we're going to jump back to this. Dollar cost averaging is great, but I really, really love it for mutual funds, because here's why it's better for that than other things, other than the math. If you do it with stock or an ETF or something, the fact that you keep buying more and more shares is great, but it's not going to affect your commissions. Okay, you're still going to pay the same commission if you pay commissions. We're a commission world. I know there are firms that don't, but let's assume we have it. On the mutual fund, it's much better because you have what they call the rights of accumulation. So what happens is as you're buying more and more shares, eventually you're going to hit a break point and then you're paying less. Okay. So maybe after a year or two, you now are paying less per share because you're not paying a sales charge on top. Your sales charge is getting lower and lower and lower because you're hitting break points. So that's why dollar cost averaging will eventually even be better for a mutual fund, because the more you put in, that goes toward what you owe in sales charges. And once you hit a certain break point, which you should know already, it would lower your sales charge and your cost would actually go down. So that does work, where it doesn't matter with an ETF. It doesn't matter how many shares you buy. Your commission is still your commission. Okay, that's dollar cost averaging. You probably won't have to do the math, but I wanted you to see how it works. And let's get on this, baby. Check me out every Tuesday and Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. on YouTube, live Q&A free, plus my new pop-up quizzes that I do every once in a while live. You can take an exam with me. You'll be good. Wash your hands.